Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Google Hangout for You Ought to Know Live. Seen and heard live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Hangout10.com network. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Dave Serio, your host. We've got Mike Lambert up on the screen already. Mike is ready to take care of giving us advice on the detailing part of the automotive industry. Good morning to you, Mr. Mike. Good evening to you, Mr. Mike. Sorry. Good evening.
How are you?
I do that morning stuff because of being a morning disc jockey.
Yeah, there you go.
Everything on my talk is usually during the morning.
Yep.
Hey, it's great to be with you this evening.
Yes.
You own a business called The Shine Shop, which is also owned by you and your wife, Lena. And you detail cars. I like to say that's what you do, but it's not. I mean, you are an unbelievable professional when it comes to the exact meaning of the word detail.
Well,
and that's where the meaning is lost. A lot of people in the industry, not trying to talk bad about anybody, but a lot of people in the industry clean cars.
Yes.
And then, in my opinion, there are people like you that detail cars.
Yeah, we kind of take it to the extreme. We try to make your car as perfect as possible, and we kind of specialize in, I say, correcting the work of others. So we haven't had one come in yet that we can't fix, and so we're pretty fortunate, and our clients are pretty enthusiastic about the way their cars look. So they allow me to spend the time I need to spend on it.
And you have the special coatings that you do. You've been doing this for a couple of years now. You've got the Geon coatings that really are remarkable. Explain to the folks what the coatings do, because a lot of times people think that this is something that you can get at the dealership for like $2.99, and they bring the car back to you, 15 minutes later.
No, it's ceramic coatings is like the latest technology in detailing. Unlike waxes and sealants, they don't wear off and they don't wash off after a certain amount of time. The majority of them on the market, there's several on the market now. They last anywhere from 2 years on up. Some of them are even claiming 4 and 5 years, which they haven't been able to prove yet. But the Geon has been proven by independent people that it lasts at least 2 years, and that's rated at 150 to 200 car washes. So that's quite a few car washings that it doesn't affect it. They're real resistant to scratching from just normal washing and normal driving. They're very resistant to detergents. So if you're running through a car wash, the extra strength in their chemicals isn't going to bother it like it would a wax or a sealant. And staining, they're real resistant to any lasting effects from bird droppings and tree sap and things of that nature. So they just they last. They like to say they last years, not months or weeks.
No, I love it. You get on my radio program, and here you talk about bird droppings. On my radio program, you call it bird poop.
Well, bird poop then.
Are you trying to talk to my clientele, my listenership? You think they relate more to bird poop than droppings?
No, not necessarily. Just that early in the morning, I don't clean it up. So.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, the other thing about the ceramic coatings that some people aren't familiar with, preparedness is really necessary on these ceramic coatings. If you put the ceramic coating on a dirty car or a car that has not been polished up to where it should be, what's going to happen?
It's going to actually make the car look worse, and that sounds strange, but it's like putting a magnifying glass over your paint. So any defect that I leave in the finish just really shows up when you put the coating on, because like I said, it just magnifies anything. Because it magnifies the look of the paint, so that people that didn't even know their cars had metallic paint on it are just taken back because they're like, I had no idea the car was that metallic. And it just really brings out the color, and the metallics in the paint stand out a lot more. So it's real important to polish the car as close to perfect as possible. And I probably turn down coating more cars than I actually do, because some cars you just can't get the defects out of safely. So I won't put a coating on them. Now, there are some guys that'll coat anything.
Right.
So.
Now, you also do the synthetic waxes, so cars that don't get a coating will get the synthetic wax.
Yeah, we use a really good synthetic wax. We we get from Esoteric Car Care in Ohio, and it's made in Germany by a company called Polish Angel, and it's good for at least 6 or 8 months. It's not cheap, but it's really, really good. So for the amount of time I spend polishing the car, and the preparation's the same. It just depends on what finish we need. and the coatings aren't really designed to go on single stage paints like the older exotics and the collector cars that I do. So we have to have an alternative for that, and we're always looking for the best wax that we can find.
Very good. I will tell you one thing. Back in September or October, you did my 2006 Magnum. Mm-hmm. I bought that car used in August, so fortunately, I got pretty fortunate on that car. The paint was in very good shape for a everyday driver, 8-year-old car.
Yeah, it was in really good shape. I was surprised too.
I know you were kind of like, you were thinking that maybe it wouldn't get a ceramic coating on it because of the age, but it really was in nice shape. And then when you put the ceramic coating on, first of all, the car is red, and it really was red after that.
Yeah.
And we had one of the worst winters and that car still looks great.
Good. That's what we like to hear, and that's why we kind of went with the coatings, because they last a really long time, and it just makes it a lot easier to maintain your car. The dirt doesn't really want to stick to it, and the water, it doesn't like water, so it wants to water off the car as fast as possible.
Very good. Well, as you said on your lower third right there, the website is theshineshopAutoDetailing.com. And for those of you that may have questions about the detailing business or Mike's business, you can give him a call at 410-833-1632. We'll come back to you in just a little bit, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Jose, good to see you, sir. We're going to go right to Mr. Windward, but it's good to have you, Jose.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
You too, buddy. Let's go on to Dave Windward. We'll be right with you, Jose. Dave is from Jasper Engines. Good evening, Mr. Dave.
How you doing, Dave?
Good. You're kind of in the dark today, kind of like mysterious.
Oh, I guess I forgot to turn the light on. I'm hiding from the pollen because the pollen's getting me this week.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's getting bad.
Allergic reaction?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to complain about this beautiful spring weather, so might as well be, buddy.
Yeah, but it's a good time to be selling gas engines. The winter had an effect on a lot of the marine engines, and so they're going pretty good. And also, I've the last couple of weeks I've spoken about the 5.3 series GM engines, which is the LS1, which is the 4.8, the 5.3, the 6.0. So I had a presentation tonight on the hydraulic lifters of the 5.3. And some of the newer ones actually have these AFM lifters that shut down the cylinders. So under light load, it's actually shutting down cylinders to improve fuel mileage, and that can cause some issues. So we have identified some issues with the lifters, and we have made some improvements.
All right, before you do that, it is story time. I got to tell you, remember this morning I told you about the Jasper jacket?
Oh.
All right, well, back Sunday, I took a trip to Virginia, and we were about 6 hours from home, and I stopped at a restroom and left my jacket in the restroom, my Jasper jacket. It was a nice jacket. But by the time we noticed it, or I noticed it, I was already home, 6 hours away. So I just wrote it off. Well, Michelle, in her diligence, she doesn't write anything off. She calls the gas station this morning, and it turns out someone turned it in.
Oh, nice.
My complete faith in the American public has once again been saved for another day or two.
Well, they must not have known that it was a one-off, one-of-a-kind. It should be in a museum. So I'm surprised they just didn't do that today.
What's really weird is one of the guys that works for Verizon in Michelle's department, but not in her building, lives 15 minutes away from the gas station. He's going over there tonight to pick it up, and then he's coming up to Baltimore for a day for training on the 6th of May and going to bring it with him.
Hey.
So
I hope it wasn't in that gas station bathroom too long. You might want to wash it, Dave.
I think I'll wash it. Thank you very much. Anyway, okay, Dave, show us the video from Jasper Engines all about the lifters on the 5.3-liter V8 General Motors engine.
Yeah, this is some new technology. Hydraulic lifters have been around for quite some time, but now what they're doing is they're taking the oil away from the lifters, so the lifters basically don't work, and then it shuts down a cylinder. They're only used on the intake side, not the exhaust side. So I'm going to share this video with our buddy Jim Ball.
Smiling Jim.
I think I see him smile, Dave. So
no, we're going to be the judge of that.
Okay.
You said that to me in a text, and I didn't believe you. We're going to be the judge of that to see if Jim actually smiles.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Jose, okay?
General Motors Gen 3 and Gen 4 active fuel management on this Jasper Tech Update.
Not yet.
On 2005 and newer versions of these engines, Jasper found a problem with the lifters of the active fuel management, or AFM system. Placed on 4 of the engine's 8 cylinders, the AFM deactivates these lifters, turning off the cylinders under light loads and improving fuel economy. Jasper found that early-style AFM lifters had inherent design flaws, including oil fill holes that were too small. That led to delays in lifter operation and to a lifter tick noise that occurred at startup. Jasper 100% installs the latest design AFM lifters. These new lifters utilize larger oil holes to increase flow during startup and reduces the chance of lifter noise during operation. It's just one more way Jasper provides value into each of our remanufactured products.
Hey, look. That looks like
no.
Oh, that is a smile.
No, look at our 2 other guests, Mike and also Jose. That's a smile. That is not a smile. I'm not buying it. No Jim Ball smile there.
I think we should have.
I don't think he knows how.
I think the next trivia question you should ask Dave is, when was the last time Jim Ball smiled? And let's go for decade to make it easier.
Well, I just screenshotted that. I'm going to have to put this on Facebook and have a little survey.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know if I really want to go with the people who spend their time surveying stuff like that on Facebook as being a lethargic, but we'll see. You know, I'm a little. I'm not buying it. I didn't see a smile.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's as good as we're going to get.
So, now does GM now use the lifters that you're using? Those are the ones. You're using the ones that have been redesigned. Yeah.
Well, it was a GM design. We're only using newer ones. The GM did redesign that, so the newer lifters, we'll put the new lifters in the old engines.
Right, but what I'm saying is, do you have any idea when that was done? The design difference.
I'm not exactly sure. I would say I can look into that. They started doing that AFM stuff probably in the late 2000s, maybe 2008.
Right.
2009.
Hopefully by 10 or 11 they straightened it out with the new lifters.
Yeah, there was a lot of ticking noises going on. We've talked about the piston noise, the rocker arm noise, and now the lifter noise. So I guess once you eliminate one, you still hear a tick, and you gotta
get all 3 together. You got yourself a heck of a band.
Yeah, tick and tack.
What was the answer to that piston slap issue that was going on? Has anybody ever figured that out?
Well, what we did was we redesigned the piston. We used a material that enabled us to give it a tighter tolerance. Plus, we added a skirt to the piston. I used to have one sitting around here. Oh, here's one right here. Yeah, this little bit of a skirt at the bottom of the piston. The original GMs are actually flat, straight, and that just a little bit gives it a little bit more stability. We moved the ring pack down a couple millimeters, and that it just gave it more room on the top, this top section here, combined with the additional skirt. It just made it a more stable piston. And I'm thinking GM probably redesigned their piston in the newer engines, but we don't really see those engines until they're out of warranty, maybe 5-6 years old, and they start. Oh, we got a visitor.
There we go.
Problems. Say hi.
You're on TV.
Now she's being shy. Here.
So anyway, very good, Dave. Well, again, you know, the piston slap problem was a problem for a long time, but I haven't had that many listeners or customers complaining about piston slap right now.
Yeah, you don't hear too much about it anymore. It's usually in the older engines.
Yeah, very good. All right, Dave, we'll be back with you in just a few minutes, mister.
All right, thank you.
Dave Winward from Jasper Engines. We go right to Jose Bueso. Jose is one of the partners in Dynamic Automotive, and Dynamic has 3 locations to serve you in the Frederick, Maryland area. Good evening, Mr. Jose.
Good evening, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to talk to you, buddy.
Nice to be here tonight. I just made it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You did okay. No problem at all. We like latecomers. That's not a problem. As long as you get here, that's the important thing. So that means you're awful busy, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. And I just finished up an estimate just now and shot it off to the customer. We are very, very busy.
Good. Very good.
And then Todd is off to training Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He's gone to Michigan to do some training, and it's called Auto Mechanica. And so it's just going to be Scott and myself here, and the work just keeps piling in.
Yeah, that's not good. But it's good that he's getting training. He'll, be able to widen his horizons. But definitely a problem with coverage for the next couple of days.
Yeah. Well, we'll make do. It's Scott's pretty good, and it's manageable. But the training course that Todd is going to attend is really kind of advanced. So he'll get his hands on some technical information and some management information. He's going out there with my partners, Lee Foreman and Dwayne Myers, and our general manager at Urbana, Bobby Allen, Big Bobby Allen.
Yeah, man. They'll be on a golf course most of the time, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, actually, none of them golf.
Oh, okay.
No.
I don't either. Yeah. I've never seen the sport as being inviting to me, but a lot of people love it. So that's good.
Yeah, my brother's into that sport, and he just loves it. I got him a special sensor that attaches to his glove, so when he swings the glove, it takes note of every movement throughout the swing, and then he can look at all of the parameters on his phone or his computer.
Would it be easier if he just takes his wife?
What's that?
It'd be easier if he just took his wife. She'll tell him exactly what he's doing wrong. Save yourself $200.
Right. Yeah, and that's about how much that sensor costs. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Very good. Well, very good. All right. Well, Dynamic Automotive has 3 locations, and you're running a special this month that if they mention my name, Dave Serio, or the radio show You Ought to Know, which you air on Saturdays of my show, you're going to give them 10% off the top of the ticket, service ticket, parts and labor.
That's correct. 10% off on parts and labor, and all you've got to do is mention Dave Serio or the show You Ought to Know, and any of my shops will give that discount out.
Very good. Let's mention your shops. I know you're at the Liberty Town location right now.
Right, and if you want to get a hold of me, my phone number here is 301-694-6250. Our original location is in Newmarket, and you'll get a hold of Sarah over there. That phone number is 301-694-5460, and the Urbana store, which is located right off of 270, that phone number is 301-874-8833.
Now, how are things at Newmarket since you celebrated the 20th anniversary of that location?
Newmarket has not slowed down even just a little bit. It is just going bonkers over there.
You're getting a lot of positive comments on the mural that you premiered?
Yes, we have. As a matter of fact, we're in partnership with the artist Yemi to update the sign that invites people off of the highway into the town of Newmarket. It's a big sign that's been out there for years, and it's been in need of updating. So it's part of the revitalization of that town.
It looks so bad now that they actually call it Old Market.
Yeah. It used to be Newmarket, the antique capital of Maryland.
Right.
Yeah. Governor Schaefer nicknamed it that, and it stuck for many, many years.
Right after calling the Eastern Shore, well, we won't say what he called the Eastern Shore. Anyway, I was watching TV today. We had the TV on in the office, and the movie Ladder 49 came on, which was filmed in Baltimore. I had forgotten that Martin O'Malley had a part in that film as either governor or mayor. I think it was mayor at that time. And he was in there as Martin O'Malley giving away awards to 2 firemen. And at the same time on my sign, it said out there, Martin O'Malley may run for president. The dog catcher position was already taken. I love Martin. I changed my sign today. It now says, "Come on, summer. I can't take any more of Scott fertilizer commercials." That guy's voice irks
Now,
me.
do you have a digital? You have a digital sign at your location?
No, slide in the letter signs. But it is the most popular thing in Bel Air. I'm telling you, I put that bad boy out there. I fill the sign up almost every time with all, and I get more comments on that sign than anything else we do on that. I get better comments about the sign than we ever do about the auto repair we do. You know?
You're kidding! Wow!
I'm telling you. I'll sometimes get 15 calls a day on what I've got out there on the sign.
Now, is this the same sign that would have the lights pointing to your place? Is that the kind of sign you're talking about?
Yeah, it doesn't have lights on it. It's a basic sign. It doesn't have lights on it. It just sits outdoor today. We take it in every night, and it just sits out there, and we put. I just think of all these crazy things to put out there on the sign, and we change the sign usually twice a week.
Well, you got to take a picture of that and send that to me,
I'll do it.
or post it online here.
Well, it sometimes gets on. People put it on Facebook. I've done I put one up there. I put for the Ravens. You may not be familiar with the Ravens that much, but I put on there about the Ravens. Hey, Ozzie, give us a break. I'm running out of current Ravens jerseys to wear because he let everybody go. I mean, I have 4 current jerseys as of the beginning of 2014 season, and all I've got is Justin Tucker left. That's it.
Wow.
So I try to put stuff out there all the time about, different things that are going on in politics. My favorite one was when Hogan won the governor. Okay?
Right.
If you're familiar with Maryland politics, the Republican governors have had a hard time with Bush and Miller in Annapolis. Okay?
Right.
So I put out there, I said, I hope Hogan has as much success with Bush and Miller as he did Klink and Schultz.
So you're really connecting with your crowd up there. That's good. Absolutely. You're engaging them, and they're calling you.
That one made Facebook. That one made Instagram. So a bunch of people put that one up there. They loved it. They loved it. And one guy underneath it put on there, he goes, and by the way, if you haven't figured it out, he's talking about Hogan's Heroes.
That's great.
If we get off the air, I'll send you some, okay? That I've some of the signs I've had recently.
That'd be great. And I've got a friend you on Facebook. I don't think I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on that way I can read some of your stuff.
Sure.
That would be interesting to see.
All right. Sounds good, buddy. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Jose. We lost Dave Windward. I think his daughter kind of commanded him over there, so he may not have him back for a contest. But stay with us for a few minutes, and I'll give Mike a few minutes after I say a few words. Okay?
You betcha. Thank you.
Thanks, Jose. By the way, folks, I'm Dave Cirio, and I own and operate a repair facility in Bel Air, which is Harford County, Maryland, and that is called Vehicle Service Plus. That's the website, vehicleserviceplus.com. We're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, and do quality mechanical auto repair, install BG products and services, and also Jasper engines and transmissions. My radio show is called You Ought to Know. It's seen and heard live every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. until 12 noon on DaveSirio.com, and also on 3 radio stations in Maryland. The 7 to 8 a.m. Area, the hour is aired on, and hopefully better phonetically than I'm saying right now, is aired on Q1370 AM in Baltimore, and they simulcast that also on an FM station in Harford County, Maryland on 99.9 FM. Now, the 8 to 10 hour is on the 50,000-watt powerhouse station. That station goes all the way to Frederick. It goes all the way up to York, Pennsylvania, all the way down to D.C., and all the way over to Ocean City, Maryland, as a daytime signal. It's incredibly powerful. 50,000 watt AM station, and that's AM 680 WCBM. Once again, that's Saturday mornings 8 to 10. And then 11 to 12, I'm on the #1 AM station in Frederick, Maryland, WFMD, where Jose airs his commercial spots on. And that's from 11 to 12 on WFMD, Free Talk 930, WFMD. All right, let's go back to Mr. Mike Lambert once again on the phone. Mike, how you doing, mister?
I'm good.
Good. Are you going to be going out to Hunt Valley Horsepower this Saturday?
Yes, unless it's raining, but I don't think they're calling for rain. Last I saw, I don't think it's going to rain maybe till the afternoon. So, yeah, we'll be there.
Very good. Well, another good thing is coming up in a week and a half, we have the show at Radcliffe Motor Cars.
Yes, we'll both be at Richards on the 2nd of May. So that,
give us some information on that. Radcliffe is Radcliffe Motor Car, Radcliffe Motor Cars.
Radcliffe Motor Car Company, and they're on Owings Mills Boulevard in Reisterstown. Very easy to find. If you go past it, you hit the end of Owings Mills Boulevard, you have to turn around anyway, so you can't miss it.
Hey,
Right
guys.
Hey,
guys,
yes,
what is the date of that car show? Because I absolutely want to go to that one.
May the 2nd.
That's not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
It's always the first Saturday in May.
That's where all the Ferraris show up.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Vintage.
I got to go.
Yep. Plan on it. It really is a good show. Best time to get there is like between 10 and noon.
Yeah. And the food, he's having the same caterer, so the food's excellent. I'm sure if the weather's nice, he's from what I understand, he's all sold out of reserved spots, so that's a good thing. A lot of vendors, a couple new vendors this year. I'm not sure exactly who, but he told me a couple new vendors, and Rod Kraft and myself and Eric Leonard will be there all day, and it's a really good time.
And chopped liver.
Yes.
I'll be there.
I'm sorry, Dave. You are going to be there. You're going to be doing a live broadcast. I thought you would say something about that.
Well, I'll be more than happy to. I'm going to have two of my cars there. One for the Italian show, and then Mike is taking the 2013 Viper over, and he'll be using that as a display model. Letting the people sit on the hood, and he'll take it. It'll be like the Electrolux vacuum cleaner guy, throw a pile of dirt on my car, and then look at see how well it's protected.
I don't think I'll have to worry about that after being under those trees last year.
Yeah, they were pretty rough on it, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we can move to a different spot to kind of negate the pollen coming out of the trees again this year. Either that, or we're going to get a bigger tent.
Yeah, the Pantera will also be there. That'll be my Italian car representation there. I'm looking forward to that. So
that'll be nice.
Really good show.
Yeah, and he's always got quite a few of those Panteras there, so that'll be good. And from what I understand and from reading on the internet, it's like the largest gathering of vintage Ferraris on the East Coast. So it's turned out really well.
Really has. And I mean some special cars.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Spot to kind of negate the pollen coming out of the trees this year.
All right. Well, do you have a tip of the week? Do you have a tip of the week for us, Mike? Or
Yeah, I think we'll just what we talked about on the radio on Saturday. The big thing this time of year is the pollen and tree sap. And pollen, people say, well, I'll just wipe it off. But if you look at pollen under a microscope, it's a little ball with spikes sticking out of it. It looks like one of those things the gladiators used to swing around. And so it's just as abrasive as salt from the road is. So the best thing to do is hose the car off, flood it off with water, and then come back and dry it with your rinseless wash or your spray detailer as you dry it.
Right.
It's always the best thing for your car is always to hand wash it, but I know that can't be done all the time. So you just want to minimize any risk of scratching is what we always do. Tree sap, 91% alcohol. If you just dab it on a tree sap, comes right off. Don't need any special chemicals or anything like that.
But it does take the wax off, though.
It'll take the wax off, so you just put a little spot of wax back on the car. It's no big deal.
Yep.
The big thing is when people put fresh mulch down, you'll get these little tiny black sticky dots, and it's artillery mold, and it comes out of the mulch and it shoots out like a cannon. That's why they call it artillery mold. That's really tough to get off. You either have to pop it off with a plastic razor blade, or you can take some baking soda and dab it, and that'll get it off. And then you have to wash your car after the baking soda.
Right.
Because you don't want to risk any damage to that. But that's pretty much what I hear this year, or this time of year. I get a lot of phone calls on tree sap, basically.
If that's the three things that I have to hate about spring, I'm okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, pollen. I mean, you got to live with it. There's nothing you can do. So.
Exactly. Well, Mike, thanks for being with us this evening. 410-833-1632 is your contact information. You're more than happy to. And I mean this sincerely. I know this for a fact. You talk to a lot of people during the week and give them helpful hints on detailing and what they can do. And even your website, the ShineShopAutoDetailing.com, you've got a special do-it-yourself section of the website so people can have questions answered about detailing and how they can do it themselves.
Yeah, we have some tips and advice on there, and we'll probably expand that in the near future. So that's going over pretty well. My wife's done a really good job on it. She spends a lot of hours on that.
You bet. Very good. Good to have you, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
As always, we're going to be back with Dave Windward now. Dave has worked his way back onto the air. Well, I tell you earned the spot, Dave. How you doing?
Good. I don't know what happened. I lost all my sound.
Okay.
And I don't know if my daughter had poked something on the keyboard, and then it wouldn't let me back on. So I do have a contest.
Okay, ready. Well, we're ready, buddy. Go ahead.
Okay, since we were talking about lifters, this is, last week the question was when was the first electric power window? That was 1946.
Okay, I was going to say 36, but very good, 46.
And then this is when was the first hydraulic lifter used, and what kind of car? It might be hard to read. A 1930 Cadillac, 1960 Lincoln Town Car, or a 1950 Toyota Cressida. First hydraulic lifter gets a T-shirt.
All right, well, that's very good. I would say the 30 Cadillac, and I would say right now is about the time that they're finally getting the quiet down.
Yeah.
I'm
they
just
put enough STP in.
Don't take my answer, folks. Don't take my answer. I'm only going with the assumption, since he put 452 on there, that he's being very, very particular about that. So, the Toyota Cressida, that was a nice car. In the late 60s and early 70s, that was a very nice car for Toyota.
Yeah. I used to love those, and it was actually this Toyota Supra was built on the same platform as some of those later Cressidas, and they actually. And I believe the Cressida ended up turning into the Lexus IS 300 is what it eventually evolved to, because it's had the same inline six-cylinder. That was basically the same block they had used all the way back from the 70s.
Yeah, that was a low oil pressure block, but it did well.
Yeah, absolutely.
One other thing about what was I going to say about the Cressida? Oh, now I forgot. Oh, well. I guess wasn't meant to be. All right. So JasperMan73@gmail.com is your email address. And the first person, one answer only per person, the first person that gets the answer to this question properly wins the free Jasper T-shirt. All right. Did we have a winner last week?
No winner.
Okay. All right. JasperMan73@gmail.com. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, buddy. All right, Jose, thank you so much for being with us this evening. Thank you for joining. We appreciate that. And good to see that things are going well at all three locations of Dynamic Automotive.
Thank you, Dave. It's always a pleasure to be here with you and the guys. Always enjoy myself. The conversation is always good. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that Radcliffe car show. That should be good.
And by the way, something that's coming a little closer to you also the next day, on the 3rd, is the All Ford car show at Krause Ford in Tawnytown.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's an interesting show.
That's good.
Lots of Shelbys, lots of Mustangs, Torinos, plus also your Rancheros and all kinds of other O's. So it's a lot of fun.
I wonder if they'll have any Ford GTs over there.
Not real ones, no. No, but they may have one of the, you mean the 2005 and 6 models. They may have one of those, yes. Very good possibility of that. Not an original one, no, from the 60s, but and we've had them before. Back in the early 80s and mid-80s, we had a guy who had an original Ford GT and GT40, and it actually came to shows about 4 or 5 years in a row.
That's very cool stuff.
It was worth about $80,000 at that point in the 80s, and everybody said, "Man, that guy is such a ridiculous fool to pay $80,000 for a car like that." And now it's probably $1.5 million.
Oh yeah, easily.
Easily, yeah. So what are you going to do? Hindsight. It always is. Thanks for being with us, Jose.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
All right, and dynamicautomotive.net is the place to go on the web. Mr. Mike Lambert, thank you for being with us this evening. We appreciate it, guy.
My pleasure.
TheShineShop, AutoDetailing.com, and for Dave Winward, JasperEngines.com. I'm Dave Serio at VehicleServicePlus.com and also DaveSerio.com. We're part of the Hangout10.com network. This is You Ought to Know Live, seen and heard live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. If you are watching this on archive, we'd love to have you join us live next week. Tuesday nights at 7, You Ought to Know Live. Good night, everybody.